everyone, and welcome to this LightSpeed Day again. My name is Mathieu Bouillon. I'm in charge of the LightSpeed Acceleration Program for the LEFEBVRE group. And here we are, today in Madrid, you online, you in the room, 6 months after the start of our Batch 2 program. It's been a long way. And now it's time to close the second chapter of our program, because what you are going to see today are the startup stories of our second batch. 6 months, 6 startups, whoa. Remember, in May, in Paris, we were announcing that over 60 startup applications, we picked 6 startups from all across Europe to come and play, build, and why not make business with us. 6 over 60. Did we make the right choice? Oh boy, yes, we did. But it's not for me to say. Today, I will ask them to come to join me on stage to tell their stories, what they did with us, what were their takeaways, basically what did they learn and where they are now. But they won't be alone. Alongside them, I will ask for LEFEBVRE employees that have the chance to play and learn with them, to join me on stage as well, to testify about this whole experience. So basically, picture that. You will have the startup point of view, the LEFEBVRE employee point of view, right here on stage in front of you. Will they agree? Will they disagree? Maybe they will fight on stage. I don't know. In any case, you're in for a good show. So let's dive in right away by welcoming Olivier Campenon, our LEFEBVRE CEO, for his welcome speech. Thank you, Olivier.
Merci. Thank you very much, Mathieu. Buenas tardes. Hey, it was good. Should I try it again? Buenas tardes. Hello, good afternoon. It's actually going to be a pretty short speech because he said it all. 66 top players. Congratulations to all of you who've actually joined this LightSpeed Accelerator program for the Batch 2. Remember, when we launched the LightSpeed, we were simply thinking that the world is changing, and the world is changing fast. And within LEFEBVRE, we believe in open innovation. We believe in open exchange. We believe that we need to work with our ecosystem, and we need to learn from that ecosystem, primarily from you guys, bright, young people, start-uppers, always coming up with nice ideas, sometimes crazy ideas, but definitely ideas that we want to listen to. And we firmly believe that we need to work together to create this new world, a world that means to be fairer, more efficient, and more sustainable. Bingo, that's our mission. Enabling knowledge for a fairer, more efficient, more sustainable world. So that's why we are delighted to be here all together today. It's Batch 2, because we did this, last time was a year ago or so in Paris, and we're going to hear about some of your colleagues who are part of LightSpeed Batch 1. If I may just come back to it just for a second. This Batch 1 was all about connecting the start-uppers with LEFEBVRE. It was a cultural opening for us, a different way for us to learn on what's happening into this ecosystem I was talking about. And that's been a fantastic eye-opener for many of us. So thanks again to some of you who were with us during that LightSpeed 1. This time, it's been again, and Mathieu already talked about it, and we're going to hear it all during these next 2 hours. It's been such an experience. But the difference was, it was not only a cultural opening, still was, but it was more than that. Because it's actually enlarged it. We had 4 times more people from the group involved into Batch 2. That's what I call a success by itself. And two is, we've actually been able to create some project with most of you. Five out of six,
Five
I
over
believe?
six, I would say, yeah.
That's quite amazing. And it says that, yeah, we're progressing with you. We're making it real. So I can't wait for listening to these nice pitches and the nice exchanges. And yes, I count on our LEFEBVRE colleagues to be tough, asking tough questions, because I know you're going to be superb once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olivier. Really inspiring. Talking about batch 1 and batch 2 main differences, before diving into really the batch 2, I would like to start with a remote that can change slides. It will be really helpful. No, thank you. It was me, by the way. My fault. I take this one. So we have a chance to have several of our startups from batch 1 that are living in Spain. So we asked them to come on stage today to testify about what happened with them on batch 1. It was the right storyline. Unfortunately, just today they are not in Spain. They are traveling all across Europe. So we have a chance to have one video testimonial about, from Han Velvik, startup from Netherlands formerly called Scopus and now called LupaSafe. And he just sent us the video just to testify that, yes, it was a cultural meeting, like Olivier said, but in his case, we went far beyond than that.
Well, good morning, Mathieu. I am Han Veldwijk, one of the founders of a company called LupaSafe. LupaSafe is a cybersecurity platform, a SaaS, and we monitor companies like hackers do. And we identify the risks where an organization can be hacked by criminals, and we give very specific advice on how to prevent these attacks. LupaSafe was in the LightSpeed Batch 1 program, and the objective there together was to identify the markets for LupaSafe to enter and to also further make the proposition a lot better. And so in the LightSpeed program, together with the team in Paris and the SDU team in The Hague, we basically identified what kind of markets would be best for LupaSafe, and also how could the proposition be shaped more to the needs of our users. And so that's what we basically did. As LupaSafe, we are a startup, and so startups, they maybe do one or two things really well, but we miss capabilities like marketing and sales. And so in May, we started a partnership with SDU and LEFEBBVRE to actually conquer the Dutch accounting market together. And over the summer months, we entirely changed the website together. We designed the sales funnels, the marketing campaigns. And since September, we've been doing lots of webinars to accountants. I think we've seen over 200 accountants in those webinars, and they're now in different stages of the funnels. And we can see already that SDU is making a lot of impact in the Dutch market, because accountants, they call us, they call our partners, they're interested, and they actually want to do business with us. So, well, that's a really good outcome of the partnership with SDU. So, where is LupaSafe now? Since the LightSpeed program, next to the partnership, we closed funding from strategic investors. We've been closing contracts with local governments who offer LupaSafe Lite to many different towns. This year, 850. I expect next year, 3,000 companies will be using the product. We've been closing deals with accountants globally via our partner, DEINA, and we've also raised twice funding from Horizon 2020. And I think this all started with the LightSpeed program of having a very clear vision, a very clear proposition, and taking this to market, and then just focusing on it.
So it was quick, but in a few words, basically, this is the experience Han had with us. And interesting to start the day to see what happened last year. As Olivier said, this year we have more and more this kind of partnerships going on, at least as experiments for now. But stop talking. I will ask them to come on stage and tell that by themselves, basically. So how will it work? For the highlights, each startup will come on stage for 15 minutes. It will be 5-minute pitch from one of the founders. And then I will ask, as I said, a LEFEBVRE or the LEFEBVRE employees that had a chance to work with them to join me on stage and have a Q&A with them to also see their experience and how they felt the partnership. So let's start with Belgium. I will ask Olivier Delort, sorry for the pronunciation, from CEO of Carbon, and Marit Pal and Marnik to join me on stage. I will do this joke until the end of my life. Sorry, Marnik. To join me on stage, both from Larcier, Margaret, Market Unit Director, Legal, and Marnik, Digital Product Developer. You can come now and sit, please. And Olivier, anytime you're ready. Choisis ton chemin.
Merci. Hola todo el mundo. It's pretty funny to be here because I've been studying here few years ago with my co-founder, Frederic, who is over there. And by the way, feliz cumpleaños, Frederic, because you didn't want to jump on the scene. Okay. So I'm really happy to be here. So I'm the co-founder and designer of Carbon. It's a product we have been working on it since 2 years. And let's begin. Oops, the other one. Okay. Okay, so the problem we found when we start to work on the solution, we found three problems. The first one was the creation of the document, because the creation of legal documents, we found it was really manual. Really, it was missing some automatics. That was the first problem. The second problem was the workflow around the document, because it was really, or it is really, across email, across phone, etc. So it's not always the best way to process. And finally, the last maybe issue or problem was the monitoring of the data, because when you don't have a CLM, basically you don't follow up the data around your document. So that's for us the three main problems around managing a legal document. So we say, okay, let's do a web application, a SaaS, because we do SaaS. So with the solution, we build it. You can generate, you can approve, you can e-sign, and you can manage the document in the solution. But there is a but, because most of the company, most of the office, they do have all the legal documents in Word. So it's a bit, doesn't make sense to ask them to take all their documents and to put them in a web application. So we say, okay, but there is this guy, so maybe you know him. He did a lot of stuff, but in our case, he did Word. So we thought, okay, let's do a plugin that you can put in Word, so you can do your legal document inside of Word, but from Word you can add some clever field, dynamic field that would be editable after in the web application. And inside of Word you can push your document to the web. So basically what we did, we built three things. We built first a Word plugin that was just explaining before. We have an editor where the user can generate all the documents he wants when he wants to personalize the document. And finally, we have the dashboard where you can follow all the data around the document. You can monitor all the important dates. So that's it. So here we have an example of the plugin in Word. So it's really super simple to use. You have your Word document and you put some clever field, inside the document, so you don't have to rebuild the whole document completely from scratch. And you just push it from Word to your platform. After you have the editor, where the user or the other party can complete the document, answer some question, and complete the field. And after, he will generate the document. What is interesting is that you have a template and this template is always up to date with the last legal update, so you don't have to update different version of the document. And that's what's for the editor. And after you have the dashboard where you can do a lot of function and you have a lot of feature around the document. But the most important is to have a clever view about the document and the important dates. Some key numbers. So we start 2 years ago. The app takes around 1.5 seconds to generate a document. 85,000 documents generated so far with around 12,000 users through the white labels we do have. Some of our clients, some big partner in the insurance and real estate, most of them in Belgium and France. And we have a small but clever team and cool team, mix of lawyer and geek. So 6 for the moment. And what we did during the last 6 months, so we work with Larcy Intersentia from Belgium, and we focus on the accountants in Belgium, and we did a batch of interview to just to understand their legal issue, because we were thinking that the accountants were one of the first, I would say, business or corporates to be in contact with the clients and to face legal issue. And that was really interesting with really different feedback, but they all face legal issue, and we think we can do something with Carbon with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivier. Take that back. If you can join Marnik and Marit on stage. Thank you, Olivier. Thank you, Olivier. Voilà. So back on the round table, following up with you. So you made that POC. You met what, accountants, correct? This is what you said. What did you show them? What was the demo about?
So basically, we showed them the product during 15-20 minutes, just to explain all the feature in the product, and after we asked them really open question about what they were facing in the day-to-day life.
Okay.
That was the question were really open. The idea was really to get the feedback on the legal issue, not to close too much.
Okay, thank you. Marit, question for you. What was the target group precisely? What kind of accountants, big firm, small firm? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Is it working? Yeah, it's working. I want to say first that when we started, we had actually 3 target groups in mind. We were thinking first of lawyers, DPO officers, and then accountants. And then we held a small workshop amongst ourselves. And finally took the decision to focus on the accountants. Why? The reason is a bit twofold. Because we know, of course, that the accountants are a very savvy digital group, and they are used working with digital tools, and they already have a digital workflow in place. And secondly, we also know that they are very much seeking opportunities how to sell additional services to their clients. And we thought that Carbon really could fill that gap. And that's why we finally took the decision not to focus on lawyers, nevertheless, because we are the legal division.
So it was accountant firms. How many firms did you see? What size?
We came up with 5 accountants. Quite frankly, we would have hoped to have a whole bunch of accountants to be able to interview. So that was not very much to write home about, so to say. But I think we need to take some lessons there for ourselves. I think we really need to start with the creation, and Marnik and I are aware of that, of a customer panel, because the aim really is to come to co-creation with our customers, where we can create a constant loop of feedback.
Yep.
And we also should engage our salespeople at the beginning, right at the start of these initiatives, and I think we were a bit too late on that as well. So these are some lessons learned, and there's room for improvement.
Great learnings, I would say.
I'm sorry?
Great learnings for us.
These
I
are
would
really
say.
some learnings to take, and as I said, room for improvement.
Okay, so that was the POC showcasing the products, okay, a demo product to accountants, 5 but the great ones, I guess. So now, how do they feel? Marnik, question for you. What was the results?
I would say there are 3 main conclusions of the feedback that we had. First of all, feedback from the 5 was very positive. Positive to very positive, not only on the tool, on needs, etc., but also on the fact that they were included. So initially, the interviews were timed for 30 minutes. They took 40-45 minutes because they talked a lot and they gave us really feedback. So it illustrates that clients are interested to cooperate with us for solutions. Secondly, the second feedback was that their needs are very diverse. Nevertheless, the fact they are small, medium accountant offices. In the tool, you have several features. And some of them said we have really a need for good updated legal documents. Others said we must have a tool to edit these documents. And others said we need a workflow, being sure that the client signs, etc. So it was very diverse. One accountant said I need it all, so that was very good also. And the third conclusion is they really gave us practical aspects, saying that pay attention on the pricing model. You have to ask a price coming from the accountant, not a license fee, etc. Secondly, as an example, second example, we already have a lot of tools. So don't give us a 7th or 8th tool, but include it in our network of tools and connect it with CRM, for instance.
Okay.
So these are the 3 main conclusions we can draw out of the interviews we had.
Okay, thank you. Olivier, just to be crystal clear, Marnik said that depending on the accountant you were talking to, some asked for a simple drafting documents, maybe drafting plus signature. Some went all the way to workflow and stuff. You have all these features in the product today, correct?
Yeah, we do. We do because the way we have built it, the product, it was we start really with one feature and then with another and another. So it's really you can use it as a toolbox and you can pick up the feature you want. So but we cover all the steps.
The whole range. Okay.
Yeah.
And now about what Marnik just said about the overall feeling of the result. Do you share his feeling? What is your opinion of that feedbacks?
Yeah, to be honest, because it's not really my field at the beginning, the accountants.
Yeah.
So I was a bit of skeptical to address to speak with those people. But the feedback we get was I was amazed, and it was really interesting because they all face a need to have a legal. Yeah, they all face a need to have something with different needs. But it was really interesting because all the 5 were interested by having something with different level, but the conclusion was positive. Yeah.
Great, really interesting. Even if it's 5, it's already something that you can build up to.
Yeah.
I guess. Marit, speaking of building up, what will be the next steps for you and Carbon today?
For the upcoming weeks, we are going to gather as much input and feedback as possible from the current users of the product, and also to expand, of course, the group of users. And alongside of that, we're also starting to explore if we can set up a collaboration with Olivier and Frédéric and see if we can take it a step further. So definitely the intention is to move forward beyond the scope of LightSpeed in the future.
Okay, so what you said is that you will pursue on this testing and this partnership with Carbon after the end of LightSpeed program, that is today, for those who aren't following the event. So basically it's a good news. Great for you guys. So a lot to do, a lot more to do and to experience with Carbon. I see that we have 2 minutes left for this roundtable. I would like to address the last question to Olivier, if you allow me. What is it to work with Lefebvre Sarru, with Larcier? What was your overall experience? And
It's kind of difficult to answer.
no, but you're not
Because
judged.
we
Those
don't
guys, forget about the audience.
We can leave the room if you want.
Okay. No.
You can say it, open heart, whatever you want.
Yeah, and after I go.
After you have to go.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was really great. It was really nice because before to apply to the program, we were not sure if we should apply because we don't have many times. You know, we are really in a hurry, and yeah, we spend a lot of hours in the product and just building it. Because there is a lot of program, you know, for startup, but they are really sometimes really time-consuming. But it was not the case. It was not at all the case because we had all the exchange that we have with you, with all the people from Larcier, from Lefebvre. It was really not time-consuming, and the value was great, and it was completely, I think, aligned with the roadmap of the product of Carbon, and the inputs. The input was great, and
Thank you.
we couldn't have these inputs with someone else. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Is that okay?
That's just perfect. No one is throwing rocks at you right now, so I would say it's fine.
They smile.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you all three for that
you.
good testimony. You can go back to your seats, and let's move on. And a round of applause for them. So that was Carbon from Belgium. Moving on to Spain. We are here, they're coming from here. The next startup I will recommend stage will be Chiara, Chiara. Chiara, they are doing, they will tell you what they are doing, basically. This is why the pitch is here. I will come on stage Soraya del Portillo Perez y Antonio Serrano Asitores to join me, both CEO and head of BizDev at Chiara. And at the same time, Liliana Tamayo and Agustin Palmer from LEFEBBVRE here in Madrid. Liliana is in charge of transformation, innovation, and communication for LEFEBBVRE, and Augustine is key account manager at LEFEBBVRE. This is for you.
It's not
Oh, you
necessary.
don't have a deck, sorry.
Thank you so much. Hi,
The floor is
everyone.
yours.
My name is Soraya del Portillo, and I'm CEO at Chiara. And this is my colleague, Antonio Serrano Citores, the Chiara's Business Development Director. First of all, we want to thank LEFEBBVRE Sarru for select us for this, for the LightSpeed Accelerator program. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so, what is Chiara? Chiara is a startup that has developed a virtual reality simulator in which the people can practice, for example, presentations or speeches. With Chiara, people can feel the experience to speak in front of people, real people, and in different scenarios, like, for example, meeting rooms or university halls or courts or auditoriums, for example. And when people finish to do the presentation, this is time. Sorry. After making the presentation, the people receive an objective and personalized feedback through artificial intelligence. Our algorithm analyzes the student's voice into different KPIs, for example, intonation, tags, or visual contact. And really, Chiara knows what mistakes done in the presentation, and it's able to give or to offer more than 200,000 of tips to improve the soft skill, public speaking skills.
There is an African proverb which says that if you want to go fast, you should go alone. But if you want to go far, you should go together. Chiara wanted to go together and far with LEFEBBVRE. And the truth is that when we decided to join forces, we have learned quite a lot. Firstly, we have known, or we have discovered, how to focus on strategy, even if we are a startup. Secondly, we have been able to starve our distractions and focus. So we have feed our focus. Thirdly, we have been able to rediscover inbound marketing because of Mathieu, for example. Fourthly, and because of working with Liliana and with Agustin, we have been able to readapt and adjust our product and our pricing. And finally, because of their help, we have been able to produce a new vertical. We are now producing a new vertical with children. So we are really grateful of being in this program. In short, coming together was the beginning. Keeping together was progress. Working together in the future will mean success. Thank you very much.
We will get a chair.
Oh, don't worry. I just skip you.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay?
It's meant to have a fortune.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Thank you.
So thank you for that, crystal clear, and thank you for the heads up for LEFEBVRE. We take it. You said about a lot of things we did together, and I heard about a POC or a test you made on the Spanish market. Antonio Soria, can you tell us a little more about that?
Yes, basically what we have been working with you is basically the business model. And we have been able to adapt together with Liliana and with Agustin with the focus basically on universities and business schools. That market, we didn't have it as clear as we thought, and we are now developing together the possibility of create a project-based product and in a long-term relationship with universities and business schools. This will allow us to adjust the prices and make it easier for those business schools and universities.
Okay, great. Agustin, a question for you maybe. So you were in contact with the universities and the schools, and you were here doing the demos, correct? Yeah. You saw the clients. What was their reaction when they saw the VR product that is Chiara?
Okay, well, customers are very difficult to surprise because they are used to the products and services we normally offer. In this case, the experience was completely different from the moment the meeting was arranged until sending or until the economical proposal. Customers have the feeling that they are looking at something completely new, something that can really make an impact on their business. And in addition to showing great interest, people have fun in the demo as if it were a workshop.
All right, interesting. And so that is the good part. Did you see any blockers? Antonio said something about reviewing the pricing maybe for universities. Did you feel the same thing during the demo?
Yes, the main barrier to entry we have found so far has to do with the price of the product. As Antonio said, Chiara is already working in a specific offer aimed to this academic sector. Bearing in mind that the context is completely different if we are addressing a company or a university.
Yes.
It also has to be considered that this is a completely new product category, which means universities don't have an established budget, so they have to find money for it.
Right. Okay, so yes, it's quite different. And back to you from Chiara. Basically, what do you have in mind today to address those schools and universities with Chiara? What sort of adjustment? Do you already have ideas, or is it still work in progress?
Yes, we are working a lot with LEFEBBVRE in this regard. And our last 3 proposals, because we have just, this morning we had one with one Spanish university here, is basically instead of just understanding Chiara as a license on a product of 2-3 months, the idea is, why don't you start in a whole degree, for example, the law degree. The first year you start with Chiara Master, for example, so you get better in your public speaking abilities. And then the next year, the second year, maybe you could start with Chiara Conference, so you are able to understand how to speak in front of a camera. And the third year, then the possibility is to focus on a court of justice. So you go to Chiara Legal, and then you practice in front of a judge and before a court of justice. So the idea is that if you establish a longer period, it is easier to reduce the costs. Because at the end of the day, it's a long-term relationship. And if it works, you continue renewing the different licenses through the different courses.
Okay, well, clever. So you may have to have a subscription model instead of a one-shot model. Okay, that opens a lot of doors, I guess. Okay, really interesting. Liliana, we didn't hear you yet. So it seems really full of potential for the Spanish market for Chiara, I guess. What about the worldwide market?
Okay. Chiara has a long way ahead. As we have seen in our strategic workshop, guided by our expert, Hub, thank you, Hub, for that, we have seen that the USA market, it seems to be the most suitable market for Chiara. They have already developed English version, so they don't have to develop a new one. And American market, they are very sensitive with the improvement of their public speaking skills. So this is the barrier that they don't have, because here in Spain, at least, we realize that there is a barrier in this skill to improve. And also, they have a really view of that market, and their skills are improving. It's gonna be easy, I hope so, for you guys. And it seems like they have a good future in this market, for sure.
Yeah, okay, great, interesting. And how do you think, since we are known as the LEFEBBVRE group as one of the biggest European legal group in Europe, already said it, how can we help them to reach the US market, in your opinion? What can we do?
Well, right now, I hope you are doing some contacts to give them in order to expand and to know better the people who can enforce the startups and their public, this kind of startups. So this is the way that we can right now help them to make some contacts there, and then they can expand their model. So this one, and also another fact that makes easy for them, or at least as we see in our workshops, is that there is not a product as completed as Chiara is in this field. So it make really attractive this market, because there is no competence as leads, as complete as Chiara is. And Soraya has made a deeply research related with that, and they are secure on that, and they have to take advantage of this fact.
Okay, thank you. A non-planned question for you, Antonio, maybe. You already have a foot in the US, I guess, in some way or another. How do you see the way to enter the market for you for tomorrow? Once again, could be in progress, could be ideas.
With companies, it's usually really easy. I mean, when we are directly going B2B, B2B2C sometimes, it's really easy because companies in the US believe in this soft skill of public speaking. We are now working as well in universities and business schools, and well, they are aware that in general terms, they usually practice really well. I mean, the Anglo-Saxon world focus quite a lot since they start school with this ability. But they believe that this could be helpful to boost their abilities. So I am of the opinion that in the US universities and business schools, pricing is not going to be an issue. Indeed,
Right.
I think that for those markets, but this is something that we are analyzing together with Hoop, and is that probably there our pricing is really low if we compare with other tools that they are
Right.
using for these purposes.
Right, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, thank you. Still few time left. So the same question I asked for Olivier at Carbon. What is it to work with a group like LEFEBVRE?
Do you want me to go or? Well, as I said before, it's been a real pleasure working with you all. Starting with you, Mathieu, it's been a privilege, and of course with the team in Spain, starting from José Ángel, Juan, and all the team, both Agustín, Liliana, but all the European team. We have felt really at home, and that's why, what I said before, we want to establish a long-term relationship, because we believe that together, this tool, this device, should succeed. And I think that we could do great things together.
Thank you very much. Does anyone want to add anything before I leave?
No, not really.
Yes, I could say that for us, one of the lines that we want to get synergies with Chiara is to think in our content, our value content inside Chiara. For the Chiara Legal, they have the specific Chiara for legal professional.
Sure.
So it could be great and useful for those legal professionals who has to defend their cases with the legal content, our legal content there. So it's something that we are thinking, and we have to go further with them.
Yes, sir.
And we should try it in French, but that's just something I live in.
The
Yeah.
French version. Focus in the
Yes,
strategy.
We
focus.
already had this conversation, Antonio, but the French
Yes.
we will come to that.
We'll come to that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. You can applaud them. That was Spain. Moving on for our third startup. Now we are going to Italy. TrueScreen is, once again, I won't present them because he will do it better than I can ever do. I will call on stage Leonardo Baruzzi, Head of Business Development for TrueScreen in Italy, and at the same time, Francesco Pecoraro and Tommaso Bregondio from GFL in Italy to join me here. Francesco is CPO at GFL, and Tommaso Bregondio is sales area manager or something like that in the sales. Maybe you can represent yourself. And this is for you.
Merci.
So
Merci.
TrueScreen.
Buon apremidi, buenas tardes, good afternoon, everyone. I can see you are Italian from the way you're dressed. You're so elegant today, so very good.
I can confirm
I'm the
that.
least elegant, so yeah. But yeah, it's good to be on the scene with Italians. It's always makes
Totally
me
agree.
at home. So I'll go on just to tell you a brief story, which is 5 minutes long, related with TrueScreen and why we exist. And we started off, of course, in 2021 as a startup, not with a problem, but with a fact. The first fact is that information, of course, is really important, and we rely on photos, videos, audio, and screenshots in our lives to prove relevant events or facts. Around us, anything has a legal or an economic value. Well, it turns out, of course, that information is less reliable than ever, and this is because, of course, there is deep AI and deep faking, but not only. It's so easy to modify and alter media files in a way that a child of 10 years old can easily modify the GPS location or the data of your mobile phone photos. So for this reason, it turns that this context can lead to frauds, misinformation, disputes, and if everything can be disputed, then nothing has a value, and of course trust disappears. And this is the huge challenges of our society nowadays. So how do we deal with this problem? Well, we developed and patented the very first cybersecurity solution, which is able to guarantee authenticity and immutability of any media file captured in real time. And of course, we call it undisputable proof in a way, because this is really true. We can, of course, guarantee that the content was authentic right from the source, from the origin of its creation. We are a little bit on the intersection of different words. We are not only legal tech, of course. We are not only cybersec. We are not only RegTech or fraud detection or insurance against frauds. We are a little bit of everything. Why? Because photos and videos are everywhere. And we need to attack these problems from different angles. And the angles, of course, we started off in Italy last year with the most pragmatic markets, which are, of course, insurance, banks, the one that looks at our bank accounts and so on. They want to make sure that all the information we input is reliable. And of course, that it has many downsides, many side effects. In the legal world, we met Mathieu and we met Geoffrey and Francis Lefebvre. Donc, I'm going to switch in French. No. With your expertise and with the know-how, we understood the correct way, and I don't want to spoil it afterwards, to do the go-to-market. So, and this is important in the legal sector. In order to create authority around this, we developed a technology based on TrueScreen, GFL app, which is already available in iOS and Android in Italy. And of course, it allows for the acquisition of photos, videos, of any digital evidence. But of course, it gives also the possibility to have immediate advanced digital signature and, of course, forensic report generation. We also enhanced new features on the affiliation code so that any sales agency can be able to understand which of the clients have used the app, and it iterates immediately. The thing is, this solution is scalable up to infinite, because you can use it as a lawyer inside the law firm, or as any client of the law firm. So this really spills over to a huge ecosystem of possible users. And then, of course, we created a web data platform in order to make it easier to manage all the digital evidence. So this is already live, and this could be used for any kind of litigation, criminal law, investigation, intellectual property. I don't want to spoil what we're going to say afterwards. Just want to close it by saying that we created this layer in order to be compliant to the international environment, also outside of Italy. And so that's why I created this random slide with a QR code so that you can use it right now. Yes, that's a good point. I'm going to use the last 30 seconds for that. No, just joking. But at the very end, the solution is live and ready and post-revenue on the whole European market, so can be used everywhere.
Good thing you put a real QR code and not a fake one that you are planning to do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leonardo.
My pleasure.
So from what I saw and from what I understand, and actually I did because I was here for the audience, you built a proof of concept with GFL logo, GFL integration, correct? How did you do that? What amount of work did it take on your side? How did you work on that?
The first point was to collect the feedbacks from your side, of course, to understand what could be the best way to, for the go-to-market. So then afterwards, of course, we have behind all the capabilities and know-how as a software house to create the user experience and everything else. It was a challenge to understand how the affiliation could work, so how we could relate any buying process to the sales agency. But then after we undercome that challenge, we understood that it could be not only feasible, but that could scale very much.
Okay. So just to tell the story, and for the audience, you understand it well, so you build a product with the feedbacks of GFL, what would be the right product for the GFL market. And from here, you have to, I don't know, showcase it to clients or test it, or maybe show them to a bunch of resellers. Tommaso, how did you, what was the kind of demo or showcase or clients? Can you tell us a little more about that step of the process?
Yes, we made an additional step because we have a big and a great sales agency. So we show them our idea, or the TrueScreen's idea, and ask him for some double check, and for their opinion, first opinion. We asked them two different kind of opinion, because the first one, it's an impulsive one, and it was great. They said us that the app looks very easy. There's not the only one on the market, also for the Italian market, but it seems the easier, and it could be very useful in our system and in our market. Then, now, in these days, our sales agent, 5 of our sales agencies are working with the GFL Certa, and they are showing it to our potential customer, and they told me, and that it could work, because it's very beautiful as a concept, and it could work.
So basically, if I understood that well, so you first show them to a sales agency working with GFL, and some of them already show them to their clients?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, we didn't know about that. And they had good feedback from that too?
Yes. At now, we are checking for the real feedback from our 5 agency, and they are still working on this, but the first feedback, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting. I was attending this meeting when Leonardo, you showcased the product to the sales agency. It was full in Italian, so I didn't get a word. So I would like to have your feedback, Leonardo, about that. Did you share the same feeling with Tommaso, that it was good? What was your feeling, basically?
My initial feeling was that the intuitiveness of the product was very well perceived. At the same time, what really struck me as positively was the fact that the pricing was not an issue, was not a barrier, was not a wall. Indeed, in fact, they said that the pricing value was very, very sensitive and understandable, comparing to the fact that there's no alternative technologically wise, but if you could have an alternative, that could be the notary. That's the only analog alternative.
Okay.
To that. So very good feedback at the very beginning, and of course I look forward for the feedback from the market. That would be.
Francesco, a question for you. So from what I hear here and there, sales agent, when good feedback, a lot of not only feedback like I like it, I don't like it, but maybe constructive feedback as well. Or what did they say about the product? Did they have any objections or issues? Because you're telling me a great story here, and I want to buy it, and I buy it because I know the results. But did we see any troubles, any hurdles to come over, or things we could improve in that?
Yeah, let's say that when TrueScreen, at the beginning of the program, shared the need to develop a reselling model with our support, we decided with the GFL sales department, in particular Antonio Favazzi, Rosario D'Arenzo, and Tommaso Bregonzio, who is here with us, to identify the best sales agents with the most experienced one, and who were very expert at selling products like this one.
Okay.
Okay? Then we organized this demo meeting, and the demo meeting the agents were all different, okay? There were, of course, the most positive one, and the more critical ones, you know? The ones that want to change things and the ones that want to keep the status quo, you know? My feeling was that the demo meeting was a success because TrueScreen got a lots of feedback, and that was our aim, because it was the first time for them. It's true that their product was already selling in the market. They were selling private investigator, assurance, so on. But probably that was the first time that they were talking to salespeople.
Okay.
And for this reason, I think it was really enriching as an experience for them, but also for us. We are really used to see meetings like that one.
Yeah.
But I think the feedback were positive, but we had two types of feedback, as Tommaso said. The gut feelings feedback, okay? And also we asked them to fill in a questionnaire. And probably the majority were positive in percentage.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And so, staying on you, what will be the next step starting on this point? Okay, now you saw them, you have questionnaires. What will be the next step?
I think we need to do two things. Of course, this year program ends today, but I would like to keep collecting feedback from the Italian legal market, and we can do that by using the app, the customized app, GFL Acerta, that we, thanks to the LightSpeed program, we have the opportunity to implement, and it's already in the mobile app stores, Android and iOS. And our agents, as Tommaso said, are today, right now, are introducing and testing the app in the market. I think that is a thing that we need to do, okay, even if the program ends. Because it's important for us, as a market leader in the legal sector in Italy, but also for TrueScreen, to understand if the Italian legal market is ready to adopt and buy a solution like TrueScreen.
Okay.
And the second thing, I think, in parallel, is because at the beginning of the program, TrueScreen shared another need. They wanted to expand their business to other European countries. And I think we need to start testing the interest of their app in other countries by leveraging the wide network of the LEFEBVRE group.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, definitely. Agreed on that.
You didn't know that, but...
No, I didn't. It's not on my here, it's not written here, so... No, but I know that's a great idea, and worth doing it, I guess, yeah. I agree with that. We are a little bit over time, but I want to ask you the same question. I'm sorry. What is it to work with us?
I'll be very honest with you.
Please.
I don't know what to say. No, it was really good. Not in terms, of course, of relations and on the human side. That was I take it for granted, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's good. But on let's say on this side, innovation is a path which is hard and tangled for every one of us. But we really understood a lot of stuff, and we're gonna see it afterwards in the future. This is an ongoing process, and you have a know-how that we need, and we understood from your side several things that we didn't know about the legal tech sector. There are many. I can't state it now because we don't have time. But yeah, the relationship was great. It's a pity that we ended today. It's no, but we are going on.
But we are going on. You know that we are going on. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, 3 down, 3 more to go. We're halfway now. Just a little recap before we move on, so we keep everything in mind. We started by our folks from Belgium. Carbon, it's a customer lifecycle, contract lifecycle manager. Okay, it's a platform, and what they did is showcasing it to accountants in the Belgian market, and with really positive feedback, they are intending to moving on to a partnership or further tests. Why I'm insisting on that today is, once again, like Olivier said right at the start, we did much more with those startups than just switching cultures and learning from each other. We did that, but we are doing, and all the partnerships, as you will see today, are going longer than the LightSpeed program. And this is why we are doing this, to have a chance to build together. So this is what we are doing with Carbon. Going on with Chiara in Spain. Chiara, as we said, strong potential on the Spanish market. They're already there. They are selling a lot. Now they're trying to enter the business schools and universities with maybe a rebuild of their pricing, but they're getting there. And the next big challenge is to reach the US market. Huge, huge, huge challenge, but still really interesting. And then you just saw them, TrueScreen from Italy. Forensic app in your iPhone, as I said, and if some of you, have downloaded it yet, you can use it today. It's on the stores. And basically, we are testing it on the GFL sales channels today with sales agencies and see where it goes from here, and maybe testing other countries, as I learned on stage. So that is great. So for the next startups, we'll be moving on to now the SEALD, one of the French cybersecurity startup. Then SideQuest, Training One. I'm spoiling you a little bit, sorry. And I will finish by Juryblocks from Netherlands. So starting with SEALD, I won't ask him to come on stage. I'm talking about Timothée Rebours, the CEO of SEALD, because he wasn't able to join us today. Actually, he had a really strong business meeting with his biggest client tomorrow morning at first hour. So as we said, and as Olivier always said, business first. So he stayed in Paris, but he's here with us live on Zoom or Teams. And at the same time, I will ask Idris if you can join me. Idris Takerboost is one of our full stack developers that had a chance to work with SEALD and obviously integrate the module into one of our products. But you will say, can you? Yeah, thank you. So, team, can you hear me?
Yes.
So the room is welcoming you. So SEALD is the name of your company. Sorry, Timothée. Can you take 5 minutes to remind us about what your company do and what you had a chance to do with us, please?
Yes. So, hi everyone. First, I'm sorry I cannot be here in person in Madrid. I would have loved to meet you all, but as Matthew said, I have a meeting tomorrow morning first thing, and I couldn't do the round trip. So we are a French company that specializes in data protection, and data protection means preventing data breaches. And as you may know, data breaches are not a question of if. It's not a question of if you are going to get breached. It's more a question of when you are going to get breached. And when you think about cyber attacks and breach that way, you know that one will eventually get through. You won't spend your resources trying to prevent one. You'll spend your resources trying to minimize the impact of a data breach. Basically, you will try your best to prevent an attacker from reading the data, even though he gets through. And that's exactly what we do at SEALD. We help software developers protect the data within an app with security by design, and more specifically, end-to-end encryption. This shakes how software is developed because it changes how you think about data. Usually when you develop an app, you think that you have a kind of fortress, your app, in which you can put anything, and you can work on it and store it, give them to your users, whatever. But when you think about with security by design in mind, you have to take into account the possibility that an attacker will take control of your app and have access to everything in your app. What end-to-end encryption provides is a way to protect data even though the attacker has access to your app. That end-to-end encryption is something that you may know in WhatsApp, for example. It ensures that your WhatsApp messages are only readable by yourself and your recipients, and not WhatsApp servers or the police or your internet provider. And what we bring with Shield is a way to integrate end-to-end encryption, very much like WhatsApp has embedded, without any skills in cryptography in business apps. We are on the market of end-to-end encryption as a service in Europe, and we have been for the past 2.5 years. We work in the e-health sector. We work in the sensitive data sector, like nuclear data. We work with Framatome, for example, which the company that builds nuclear plants in France. We work also in the collaborative work sector with a company called WIMI, which basically builds a competitor of Office 365, but with better security. And with LEFEBBVRE, we had the occasion to try the legal sector, the question of how to protect data within a legal piece of software, a productivity tool for legal applications. And that's what we did with Idris on one app specifically that I'll let Idris explain later. And we hope that this collaboration with LEFEBBVRE will keep going in the coming years.
Okay, thank you very much, Tim. And I have a lot of questions for you, Idris. But just before moving on to you, one last for you, Timothée. What is it to work on a proof of concept with a corporate like us? I assume that you have a lot of experience on that with big companies, but in the legal field, is it different, or what does it imply for you?
In the last 6 months, there were basically two phases. The first phase was to discuss with a lot of people and explain what we do. It's very peculiar. It's very different from what usual cybersecurity companies provide. We are a tool that cannot be added on top of an existing app like Magic. We have to change a bit the architecture of the app so that it works, and not every app is eligible to this modification. We spent actually quite a lot of time identifying use cases within LEFEBBVRE that met 3 criteria. First, that could embed Shield, so there were a lot, and 2, that had a development team available during the LightSpeed program, and third, that had data that should be protected with this technology, because not all data should be protected with this kind of security. And finding the projects that had those 3 criteria was actually quite challenging. Then we worked with you like any other company. We onboarded you. We have the support line on Slack to help your developers, Idris, mainly. And that went well. Okay, great. So, spoiler alert, you are or will be working with us on 2 proof of concepts. One is done already, and Idris is the one that put his hand on and build a secured product with Shield SDK. And there is another one for next year, but I will talk about it a little later. So, Idris, coming to you now. You were the developer working with Shield. Can you tell us a little bit about the product you worked on? What was it?
Yes, I'm anxious. Okay. First of all, I come from the team in charge of developing the training application. Oh, how do I start? First of all, I come from the team in charge of developing the training application at LEFEBBVRE. And one of these applications is called URS. So what we can do with URS, on it we manage the training, the registration training and exam. So we have a lot of personal user information. On it, you have another application linked to URS. The user is able to put their personal information. The challenge, we have to keep it safe. That's why today we work with SIL solution, and that's all.
Okay, thank you. And in a more concrete way, for us who are not technical guys, what do you do in a concrete way to take a product, put SIL into it, and make it secure? What is it about?
About the solution, the first thing I try to do is to understand how that works. So I go in the documentation and do a diagram with different keys to understand how encrypt the data. And I do a first prototype for encrypt the personal information and decrypt the personal information by the back office or the final user. And after that, I do the final prototypes by sending an email to the user, and the user is able to put their information. That's all it's encrypted, and that's all the information are safe.
Okay, thanks. And I should say, I didn't tell that to you already, but you made us a demo once you have integrated SIL into the product, and it was crystal clear. And we totally understand the value of having encrypted module into one of our products. So thank you for that. Really, I mean it. Timothée, so Idris is reading your documentation, trying stuff, prototyping stuff. What are you doing in the meantime to help him do? What is your process when you're onboarding a company like us in this case?
So there are a few steps. The first step, as I said, was to identify the project. So what app is eligible? And once we've reached that step, the goal will be to identify what data we can encrypt within this app. So that's something that was defined earlier in the project. Then we set up a Slack channel with Idris so that he could ask any question directly to our support team. So it was one message away to get an answer, even though the documentation is quite exhaustive. It's easy to lose yourself in the documentation. So if you have an error message or a question or something that you don't understand precisely, you can just ask. And if we can't answer with a simple message, what we did are video conferences with Idris to answer his questions and onboard him first to onboard him and then to answer the questions he had.
And Idris, what did you think about that? How was it? The general feeling? Did you feel helped or left alone?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel helped. When I have any question, I go to the Slack and I tag SIL team, and in a minute or in an hour, they propose a meeting in Zoom or anything, and I have always I was not blocked.
Okay. So you are reactive at SIL. We didn't doubt it, but now we have someone to tell it in front of everyone. So interesting. Timothée, starting from here, what will be the next step from your vision with us? And I'll say a little more after that about the next POC we'll do together. But from your point of view, what would be the next interesting thing we can do together?
Well, the first thing we validated with URS is that we can work with LEFEBBVRE. We had actually meetings with your CISO, your IT director, who are very eager to see sealed embedded into your solutions. So I think that's a first victory. And the next step will be to have the sealed technology embedded in LEFEBVRE tool in production to protect actual data and not stay at the prototype stage. And that will be a big step because you will basically rely on our infrastructure for some portion of your production environments, and that will be the next step.
Okay, and this is and you say right, because beginning of next year, maybe end of Q1, I would say, in the end of first quarter, we will start to integrate sealed SDK into a French product called Opus. For those who don't know what that is, Opus is basically another CLM, a contract lifecycle manager, but targeted on HR. Basically, they are doing a labor law contract and all the documents around that. And the point for the Opus team is to integrate sealed SDK as an end-to-end encryption tool within Opus. So we will be testing sealed in a bigger product with more personal data. But one big thing we will be testing, and that's really important for us as the LEFEBVRE group, is that Opus wants to market and to communicate about the level of security they have in the product. And it's a great learning for us to see what will be the client response of a marketing point that is about security. Okay, Opus can do this and that on an easy way, but in a secure way. And it's the first product on the French market that will be end-to-end encrypted. Would that generate more sales or more retention from clients? That is a great learning for us. So security is a matter of security first, data privacy first, but also if we are not legally binded to be encrypted in our products, that could be an interesting lead for us to reach that point. So this is what we're going to test with Opus, and that brings us one step further than what we did with Urs and Idris. That was already great, guys. Timothée, 30 seconds. What was it to work with us?
It was really great to work with the innovation team and the IT and security team, and also the teams from Urs and Opus. Great shout out to all of you, because you really helped move this project forward. And unfortunately, as any big group, everything takes time, but that was expected. So really, thank you very much.
Thank you. We take time. No, that's not true. I don't believe you. No. Thank you for your honesty, team, and thank you for everything, and keeping working with you. See you really soon. Bye, and thank you, Idris, for your participation.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Let's stay in France with our next startup. They are doing training, but once again, I let him explain it more. I asked to come on stage SideQuest CEO Thibaut Oudot, who joined me, and Thomas Roy, our innovation coordinator in Europe, that was here all along the proof of concept we did together, and he's here to tell us a little more about what you did, basically. This is for you.
Thank you.
And the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I would like to start by thanking LEFEBVRE and LightSpeed for their very warm welcome here in Madrid, a city that I love, and for their support and their kindness during this whole project. I'm glad to have the opportunity to present to you what we've been working on. We are really enthusiastic about it, and we think it might be a small revolution. But first, let me give you just a bit of who we are again. We are a French certified training center, and we focus only on legal professionals. Mainly, we work with lawyers. We are a small team. Thomas is here with me. Alexis must be watching online, I hope. Hello, Alexis. We are a small team, but we have a good ambition. And when we started 2 years ago, we really wanted to freshen up the continuous legal training of legal professionals. And since then, we created 16 asynchronous online courses on our very own learning platform. We created 8 hybrid courses sessions. These are the interesting one, and I'm going to come back to it in a second. And we also did more than 20 days of real live courses, a bit of everywhere in France. And in the end, we have more than 1,200 sales of individual trainings. And we also managed to catch a few hours of sleep here and there in the process. I want to tell you a bit more about hybrid courses because these are the courses that brought us here with LightSpeed. But first, you need to understand what is the difficult thing with learning. When you're trying to do learning, and especially with e-learning, you need to cope with the fact that you're going to have at least 30% of the people dropping. They will start, but they will never, ever finish the training. And also, after the training, we know that there is 80% of the knowledge that will be lost within a few weeks, because most of the time there is no factual application every day. So these are what we're working with, and ever since we created this company, we've been starting to have better results, better numbers. So we experimented a lot, and we found something that we called hybrid content. It's still very practical because it's still a training that you can follow. It's a distant training, it's online, but it is with small groups, 8 to 12 people, and it's not only one session, it lasts in time. It's one webinar a week, for example, for a period going from 1 to 3 months. So we started playing with that, and we realized that lots of people in the groups, they were starting to bond, and it was going very, very smoothly. So we added WhatsApp groups for the people to be able to talk, to ask questions, for us to help keep them motivated, to give them more examples, more resources. And at the end, we went from struggling to have people finish a 3-hour course to people following 3 months course with 100% completion, 100% satisfaction, 100% recommendation, more than 30 messages a day in average for lawyers, people that are super busy, you can't reach them, but they were talking all day long on this platform. And in the end, we could tell there was a better anchoring of the knowledge. We could tell that. So it was very exciting. And we had that, we were experimenting, and we thought, well, maybe it's time to go to LEFEBBVRE and see if we can work with them on a larger scale. For us, it's very interesting because we are doing lots of soft skills training for now, but we really want to take the road toward learning legal trainings. We want legal practice, we want legal trainings, and who is better than LEFEBBVRE to help us with legal content? And the other things is that we are extremely lucky because we are working with the help and the support of LightSpeed, but also we had the chance to work directly with LEFEBVRE's training department. We had the chance to work with Catherine Johnson, Sébastien Schall, Hélène Fleury. They're not here today, but they were of a great help, and they were super, super interesting people in the training business. And we came up all together with this new project, and we tried to go even further in the integration of what we call social learning. So for this new project, we had lots of meetings just to try and find what would be the best topic, and we thought the best topic would be negotiation for lawyers. Because no matter what, regardless of your expertise, of your legal system, of your legal practice, every lawyer will need negotiation at some point. And also, there is a lot of theory, of course, but it needs practical application. So this is perfect for the kind of format that we are playing with. After that, the training, it will last 8 weeks with up to 15 people. And it's gonna be, it's gonna be extremely dense. You're gonna have 2 hours a week of live training. But in between the session, you're going to have applications, you're going to have work in group and in subgroups, you're going to have complementary intervention from other professionals. And we have two new things that we are experimenting now with Dalloz. We are creating interaction before and after the training. I'm going to tell you how. And the real new thing is that everything and every student will be on one single platform. We're going to use Discord, and everyone will be on Discord to follow the live trainings, to be able to look at the replays from the previous trainings, to be able to look at all the resources and everything that we will give them during the training, to work in group, to work in subgroups, and to do the same as they did before, just chat, just keep them motivated, and just having a lot of social interaction, because this is the way you will anchor the knowledge. And so, what we hope, actually, we think that with what we learned before and with what we're experimenting so far, we think that we can at least double the efficiency of the training with, in the end, real actionable skill that you will keep in time. Because we work before, everyone is in the platform before even starting the training. There is an onboarding, we try to stimulate them. They will learn to know each other and to know the method. Then you have this very complex learning scenario with a lot of social interaction, with immediate implementation of the skills, because they're going to have to work every week. And then after, this time it's not finished. We keep giving them exercises, we keep giving them resources, we ask for their return on experience, and so we keep helping them anchoring the memories. So the skills, they will last. And if we are really, really looking forward in the future, this community, we can keep them alive, and we can take them to other trainings or complementary courses. We already tried it a bit, and it seemed to work very, very, very well. So we are extremely, extremely excited. This is actually the first time it has been done for the training of legal professional. So I'd like to say thank you, and maybe we'll see you on the other side on our new platform. Thank you very much.
So really, really fascinating, and I can say something about SideQuest and about Thibaut. He's a really reliable guy, because he told me before the events, I cannot do that in 5 minutes, I will take 8, and he did. So thank you for that, Thibaut. Keeping what you say, always a good thing. So, this seems, you begin to say that this is innovative as a proof of concept. You are used to doing that on a daily basis at SideQuest, or?
Well, SideQuest is a training center, but actually we work like a startup. So when I told you that we wanted to freshen up the training of legal professional, it was more to dust it off. We acted like a startup. We found problems, and we tried to find solutions and to iterate to bring a new product to the market. And before we started, the few e-learnings existing, it was right before COVID, most of them, they were really ugly. You would have 80% chance of dozing off in front of the content. There would be absolutely no pedagogical effort in the creating of the learnings. And so we started with that. So it's innovation. It's not rocket science. What we're doing on the education market, it's nothing new, but for the sector of legal professional, it's actually extremely innovating, yes.
Yeah, and speaking about innovation, you are planning to use Discord?
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Discord is not a tool used in the gaming and NFT communities?
Yes, indeed. Discord, it is still very famous because it's widely used by the gaming communities. But education, they've been using it actually to try many things for years now. The first experimentations, it was 5 years ago, and it's great for gaming and for talking, but it can be a great pedagogical tool because it has channels, you can live stream, you can chat, you can put content. So if you want, we are hacking Discord to use it as a 360 learning environment.
Okay, so for the one who are not familiar with Discord, a simple way to do it, and they will kill me if they hear me explaining how they are like this. Discord is basically Microsoft Teams for gamers.
Before, it was before, yeah, but it's old now.
Yeah. So it's innovation by itself, despite everything else.
Yeah.
Question for Thomas, please. So I assume that we don't do that a lot at LEFEBVRE, social learning like this with Discord and
well,
stuff.
we do have some even innovative formats in our Lefebvre Dalloz catalog. For example, we're going to launch a new training on gender-based discrimination in the workplace. That's going to take the shape of an escape game. It's going to be launched very soon. But that's true that on the social learning and the community building, we don't have much experience, and there are lots of outcome from this collaboration, lots of things to take up.
Things to take away, yeah. And about those things, what will you take away from this experience with SideQuest, for instance?
Well, I think what we're going to learn is how to engage the audience from the start. Before the training even starts, they will have some content. They will be sensitized to how it will work, and after the training, on the long term, they will have some other pieces of content, like Thibaut said. They will keep on learning, keep interacting with each other, which is very important, because especially with a subject like negotiation, you can go back to your community and ask them, oh, I have that new subject, like how would you do that? And that's going to be, I believe it's going to be very efficient for our trainees.
All right. I'm not sure we mentioned it, but it's not only a proof of concept we are doing here. It may, Thibaut, can you please elaborate on that? But it will be a real product we will sell together to real clients, correct?
Yes, sorry, I didn't mention it, but yes, it's actually it's a proof of concept where we go really further and try to have a real strong product. But the fact is that we are going to take it to the market with the help of LEFEBVRE. We are going to try and have some of our community, but also to reach some people that are more on the traditional community of LEFEBVRE. And right now we are still we are finalizing the program, and we are discussing what will be the best marketing strategy. But I think Q1 of next year we should have something that will be sold for the first session. And what's interesting with this product, if the first session works, you can have a second one, but for the second session you can have multiple groups at the same time, and you can start building a community very fast. And then you can go to level 2, then you can take them to other products, some of yours, maybe some of our product. There is so many things that we can do if it works well.
Starting from here, that's a starting point, and from here there is a tree of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's already a success because we learned many things doing this with you guys, and I think on the other way around, they wanted to learn also what it could be to build this kind of content with a different strategy. But after it's put on the market, we will learn so much more, because every training, between the first time you give it and the second, third, fourth time, it evolves a bit, because you have to get the feedbacks from the people following your courses. So it's gonna get better every time, and we're gonna learn.
Basically, it's a training program developed like a startup product by iterating and getting feedbacks and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, we have 1 minute left. Don't look at that screen, it's not true, because you already take too much time on your first part. So let's keep it. You have 1 minute left to answer me the usual question, and you already know it. What is it to work with us? Good things and bad things?
Okay, so good things. I mentioned it, and so many people have mentioned it so far. It's the work environment. It's great people. They are really, really so kind, and they make it super easy to work with. It's a pleasure. It's talented people, and it's nice people. So it feels like it's working with my own company. I love it. On this side, it's great. then you have a huge company. You are widely based in Europe, and we are still a very small, very new company. So for us, after 2 years, being able to play with the top players in the training business of legal professionals, it's already a big achievement. And for me, I was a student in law. I remember having so much Jallows and LEFEBBVRE books, and sitting here today, it's fun. It's great. So this is definitely the good part. There is no really bad parts, but we have different ways of working. We are a very small company. We are very agile. We are trying to raid the market, and we are used to moving very, very fast. But you are a big company. That's why we came to you guys. So we must accept that you have what we call the processes. You have you have a whole lot of them, and I forgot. I used to work in big companies, but I forgot how much processes you have. So even a small thing, big things can move very fast, but sometimes small things can take a long time. But in the end, it's for great results.
And this was a former employee at Airbus complaining about processes.
Yeah, I know.
For real, he was.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Bien, oui. And to end the day, I will ask Netherlands to join me on stage. The startup is called Uriblocks. Niels, how you are here. Niels is the CEO of Uriblocks, and at the same time I will ask Esther van der Bork and Inge van der Stok to join me on stage, employees at SDU, respectively Software Producer Development Services, B2B at SDU, and Senior Online Campaign Manager. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mathieu. It's an honor to be the last one, but I feel a little bit of pressure. So let's go. In the next 5 minutes, I will take you through our journey that we had last summer with the LightSpeed team that we had. But before I will do that, let's start at the beginning. So in May, we started with Lin Legal. Lin Legal, I will come to that later, what it is. But since the start of Lin Legal, we were struggling. We were struggling with the sales. So how do we build a successful sales funnel? So how do we do that? And that's the reason why we started, or we applied for the program that we have at LightSpeed. So in Paris, we started directly with reviewing our product and our value proposition. So what's Lin? Lin Legal is a platform that will review your legal documents automatically, and just within a few minutes you will get a crystal clear advice. Can you sign the document or not? So it's really clear for you. And everyone can use it. So if you're a lawyer or a non-lawyer, you can just use it whenever you want. And besides the review and besides the advice, can you sign it or not, you will get a fully amended NDA, or a fully amended document. And this document gives you some clear insights. Okay, why can you sign it, or why can't you sign it at the moment? If you use it, you will spare a lot of time, and you can spend this time to the actual important matters. And now we're in November, and now we're having Uriblocks. So I hear you thinking, what's Uriblocks then? It's another company. Is it? What is it? It's our second product. So a few years ago, we started with Uriblocks, and after that, we started with Lin. And Uriblocks focuses on drafting legal documents. And we thought, okay, just having two brands, two products, it could be, it's better because it has two different focuses. So for us, it was quite logical to have those two brands. But yeah, once we got in the LightSpeed program, we thought, okay, maybe we have to switch. So that, we've combined all of the features that we have at the moment of Lin Legal and Uriblocks together And whether it's drafting legal documents, reviewing legal documents, or negotiating legal documents, it can be done just in one platform, and that's more logical for the audience that we might want to address. So during the summer, we got a lot of fresh insights, and yeah, it's a nice picture. During one of our nice workshops that we had in The Hague. But the LightSpeed team, yeah, they've managed to open our eyes, and we're quite stubborn. We're lawyers with a technical background, and we know all things best. So we thought, okay, having 2 brands, okay, it's just fine. But afterwards, we're just going to have one sales funnel, and it should be more profitable than just having 2 brands, 2 sales funnels that we have to maintain with the same team that we have. So combining those services and combining those brands was the next step after those 6 months. And now, yeah, we've transformed our business model in just 6 months, and that's a great achievement, I think. And we have still a lot of things to do, but opening our eyes was the first thing. And now we have to rebrand everything that we have at the moment. It's not called Lin anymore, at least the website is still online, but we have to change and we have to combine all those features into just one product. So that's the thing that we have to do for the next few months. But yeah, I want to thank our team for giving those insights for us. So now we have to sell, and we're yeah, looking for a great future that we have. So thank you all.
Thank you. So I heard it well. You said that you transform your whole model in 6 months.
Yeah. We didn't see that one coming as well.
Yeah.
So, no, we've transformed it. And what I said, our team helped us to open our eyes, and we're quite stubborn as lawyers with a technical background. And because of the fact that those products were technically divided as well, for us it was quite logical to have them both separated. But now, as we are going to combine it into one platform, we can just have one sales funnel and make it more profitable.
Right. So what you have now basically with Uriblocks is a full product suite, we could call it like this, a contract lifecycle manager with drafting, signing, reviewing, processing and stuff. It's a lot of features in a single product. But basically, this is what you are going to market tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's already possible to market it and to sell it, but it's another thing, another way of thinking. So we needed to think in that way, and by combining those products, we have a full product suite that can be used by every type of user. If it's just reviewing or drafting or negotiating contracts, it doesn't matter. You have to go to Uriblocks.
Of course, and a lot of type of users, and that's my point. Many modules with many legal usages, and the struggle to find the right product for the right target and the right user. That sounds familiar. Don't you have this kind of issues at SDU, for instance?
Yeah, that is of course our daily business, to find the right product-market combination for legal professionals or tax professionals by deep diving in their working process and find the pains they have. So what we saw with Lin Legal, CQ Uriblocks, is that they had this very big offering in terms of product. But what they didn't have yet is their storyline. So what are you going to tell your customers? And, well, it takes a lot of effort if you have to tell 2 stories. So it's quite also about simplifying the offering. So that's what we did together.
Okay, and according to you, what will be you mentioned the storyline, but what are the biggest challenges to bring a software like this to the market?
So we're talking about legal professionals. So this is a very conservative market. So if you're going to tell them that they have to work efficient, well, maybe their business model is running on inefficiency. So by billable hours, but so you need to change that, and that is also with a very in a possibly automated way. For the high corporates, you of course need to have your sales force because they need a lot of time. But if you look at the lower segments, you want to have that automated as much as possible.
Of course.
So we have really been thinking of the steps in this customer journey, and that's what we do. So we helped you guys with that.
So basically what you think that we did workshops with Lynn, jury blocks, sorry, I will get to that, helping them to see the different steps and the flow. Inger, you were part of the mentoring team, basically. Can you tell us a little more about, in a concrete way, what we did during those workshops?
Sure. Well, as Esther so eloquently pointed out, we went from the start where we looked at the proposition. We had a workshop where we all came together and started brainstorming, which was really efficient, I think. And then we basically looked at the proposition, the storyline, how can we simplify it, how can we make it so that everyone understands what the proposition is. We looked at the pricing, and after that we looked at the customer journey and the funnels and see, like Esther said, the automation, as many steps to be automated as possible so that you can actually do what a startup wants to do, and that is grow. So that we basically looked at all the variables that were needed to be adjusted so that they could start growing. And that's what we did, yeah. And so all that is left now, basically, is for the leads to come in and to get all the acquisition done.
So Niels, would you say that you're now ready to go, you have the right product, the right offer, the right pricing, and now you have to sell, basically?
Yeah, I think we have the right product, we have the right story that we can tell, but I think there's still a lot to do. We have a lot of things to do because we have to try if the pricing model will fit to our market, and we want to sell the product to the SMEs, but as well to the corporate. So we have to check if that's going to be in the right way, because we're changing the product and the value proposition. So we have to see in the next few months, I guess.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, during those workshops, we work mainly, or as a priority, to address SMEs, so small companies. And for you, Inger, SMEs are mainly, or one of the easiest targets to attract online with acquisition campaign. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what you do at SDU. So can you tell us a little more about what, from your perspective, is left to do for your blocks to achieve those goals, attracting lead, testing stuff?
Yeah, basically it's testing and iterating, seeing how you can attract them, what message in what channels rings true to the target audience, and then basically it's testing all the way through, and then start a campaign, test it, see if there's people responding, and if not, you change your proposition, or not the proposition, but change your campaigning.
Yeah. Or your mix or stuff. Okay. Interesting. So correct me if I'm wrong, but we are the program is ending today, but we decided to push a little further, maybe to have 1 or 2 additional workshops. Am I correct here? Mm-hmm. We don't want to break the contact now and keep working together.
Hopefully not.
So that but you know that we won't. That's interesting. We have a few minutes left. Same as everyone. What is it to work with LEFEBVRE or SDU, as it is?
It was a great journey, the thing is that we are lacking expertise on some points. So we know how to build the platform technically, and we know how to tell to people how it works. but we don't know how to put it into the market. So, and that's where you guys are coming. It helped us a lot. It helped us a lot to see things through another way of in another vision. So in that way, it was good to change. It was quite hard because it's against all your own thoughts. But in the end, I think we have had a great transformation, and it's all thanks to you. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks to you, because we learned a lot at your contact, and that we don't say it, but that is true, as always. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Unless you have any say. Thank you. So that was it. 6 startups, 6 months. Time to close the book. Unfortunately, nobody fought on stage, so we didn't have that show, but it was interesting anyway. We had great times collaborating with you guys, and I say it personally, I loved this batch too. It was great. I learned a lot at your contact, everyone. I don't see you with the light, but still, the message is true. It's not finished, as you've heard, with all of those startups. There are follow-ups and next steps, so that is encouraging for what we can do with them. And so I guess that finally we made the right choice. So to conclude this day and this batch, I will invite again Olivier Campenon to come on stage for the privilege to close the day.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So that was definitely a great 2 hours, and I think Tony was just saying that it's been a great journey, and as you said, it's not completely finished. I've actually took a lot of notes while listening to you. So you rightly asked the questions, have we picked up the right one? 6 out of 60. And I can tell being part of the jury is a hell of a work to do that type of selections. And we'll probably never know if we picked up the right ones. But I don't know about you, but what I'm sure is the one we picked up are damn good. And sometimes I would love to be 30 years old, and not that old, and be working with you guys directly. I mean, I'm really impressed. So again, round of applause for all of you, because you've done a superb job. And so I picked up just a couple of words that you've been saying all around this afternoon. And I'm not inventing them, right? You talked about customers, and talking about how these customers have many needs. That requires some focus. I love that word. It's important to get feedback, and ongoing feedback, to make sure that we learn and we have an iterative development. You said that, yeah, subscription models are good models, and that I can only encourage you to go for subscription models. Recurring is very good. You said that you need to keep learning all the time, and you said that you are going very fast. And yes, you are going very fast. Sometimes difficult for us to follow you, but we've enjoyed it. So again, very excited by all of this project. Some of them are not finished, and that's good. Because let me take my CEO hat just for a minute. Here I'm talking to my dear LEFEBBVRE fellows. There's no free lunch. So now it's time to do business. And it's time to make sure that we get the most of all of these programs. It's been a number of learnings, but it's also nice project, nice potential offers that we can work on together. So I'm really expecting that we'll be able to develop some of them. And that's really a strong message to all of us. We're doing this program because it's an accelerator. It is an accelerator for the startups that we are helping. It's also an accelerator for us. And I think Esther was saying it, that yeah, we need to grow. We need to grow as well. Not only you startup, but LEFEBBVRE wants to grow. So that's really good. And I think Niels said it at the end, that we have to sell and we need to be more profitable. I love it. That's what drives all. Now, To close, I think the first thing I'd like to do, and please join me for a round of applause for this gentleman who's been doing a superb job once again. Well done. And although it looks like a one-man show, still we know that there's a lot of people behind him working on today and over the past 6 months. So behind Mathieu, Thomas, and Augustine was been preparing and working on all of this today. And again, to all the team, thank you so much to the innovation team. Now, sorry I love claps, so I'm going to ask you to clap once again, because there's one lady I'd like to particularly thank for all the work she's been doing, and she's been doing it over the past 2 years. And her name is Camille. She's been leading on the innovation team. Thank you so much, Camille, for everything you've been giving to the company. You've been really the driver of this, the pilot of this LightSpeed, along with all of your teams. You might or might not know, but I've asked Camille to take over a new nice challenge on ESG, and I know she'll do another superb job. So Camille, on behalf of all of the team here and all of LEFEBVRE, thank you very much and all the best. And of course, there is a new face to lead on innovation, and Maria de la Martinez, please stand up so that everybody can see you and get to know you. And I just want to do a last quote, if I may, and that is from Antonio. And if you allow me to use your word, because I loved it, when you were asked what it is about working with LEFEBVRE, and you said, we felt at home. You really break my heart. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. Mathieu, back to you.
So, that is it for today. Thank you everyone for attending here in Madrid. Thank you everyone who's online on the live stream. Thank you for those sticking with us for those 2 hours. And as we say, let's see you again for batch 3. Bye-bye.